Fortnite Season 4 trailer details got leaked already through the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics, especially in the last issue which we have leaked details for that hasn't released yet. With the next season like Chapter 2 Season 4 speculated to be another Marvel crossover entirely. Based off this fact, we also have an early look at potentially all 8 Battle Pass outfits that will be upcoming within this cinematic, including Hulkbusters making an appearance in Fortnite to try and fight off a new distant enemy sensing power surging through the 0 point. Make sure you're sticking around until the end of today's video because believe me, it's going to be absolutely insane. And you also just witnessed a mirror get smashed, which means 7 years bad luck if you don't. I wouldn't risk it. However, very quickly before we dive into it all, one favour I ask of you guys, considering it takes 2 seconds and is 100% free to do, is enter my creator code FM1 3 digits inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all, it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with that said, now let's dive into the Fortnite storyline to determine what's upcoming in the Season 4 trailer, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Just before we go any further, I need to tell you guys about something amazing I've been having fun with lately, who are also kindly sponsoring today's video, being Yahaha. From downloading Yahaha at the top of the video description down below or in the pinned comment, this allows you to immerse yourself in a brand new user-generated content creation platform for 3D multiplayer interactive experiences. Basically, from using this, the world's your oyster, and all the games that you're seeing in the background right now were actually made using Yahaha. Typically, things like this are very complicated to get into. Well, what if I told you there's no coding experience required to actually start building your own creations without coding experience previously or server knowledge even? Even better yet, there's a built-in asset library with millions of ready-to-use 3D assets within Yahaha, so the world is literally your oyster in terms of creating things unique from others, and also at the same time, once you finish said piece or work yourself, there's a one-click publish option to their cross-platform player app. This means you can easily publish your creation to the Yahaha's cross-platform app, mobile and PC, where other players can discover your work and join to play. Make sure to download Yahaha for free now by clicking the first link in the video description down below or in the pinned comment, or before you leave today's video for a whole new experience that you've never seen before. Okay, so jumping into our first point, the first factors that we currently know of on the island, all players anyways, affecting the transition to next season, changing the island as we know right now even, are the 0 point and the reality tree. Real quick before we mention more on those, this season is ending according to the Battle Pass on September 17th, meaning the next day after a 12-hour downtime, Season 4 of Chapter 3 will actually be starting. Further confirmation that this is the legitimate date, not being moved around or delayed at all or even shortened by data miners stating that they're already playtesting Season 4. Either way, with Epic Games planning so far into the future all the way up until the start of Chapter 3 Season 6, yes, you heard that right from the information stated on this tweet, with the map changes progressing, portraying this storyline development in a very cryptic manner just like Season 3 of the prior chapter, Chapter 2, with this correlation between the seasons in each chapter. As you can see, Season 1 a new beginning, Season 2 a war between factions, and Season 3 a chill theme, with no developments in sight in the game's coding as to one occurring at the end of this season that's storyline related, as Collision was so big and Epic Games probably took a lot of time working on this at the end of Season 2. That only means like Chapter 2 Season 5, where we saw no live event occur then, there's going to be cryptic map changes setting up the event or the state of the Fortnite island for the trailer to then occur in cinematic form. And with that nicely moving on to our second point, despite us identifying in the first point that the reality tree and 0 point are the map changing factors this season, despite the reality tree spreading its roots across the island as days more so pass until September 17th, changing the name locations they land at themselves when a new update actually goes by. The most recent example of this being at the Daily Bugle, or should I say the Daily Bloomgle now, which will have been changed when you're watching this video, but data miners found out about this previously when I'm recording before 21.40. Of course, in these final two updates, 21.40 and 50 set to occur before 22.00 being Chapter 3 Season 4 itself, there of course will be more named locations affected by, well, the reality roots seeping through near them, or even just generally changing that name location. The interesting and juicy part on the other hand, which may introduce us to our Marvel-based Battle Pass, yes, all 8 characters next season that we typically see contained throughout a Battle Pass that we can unlock between level 1 and 100. Of course, with the 0 point being uncontained right now, even though it's underwater and we can't really touch it or be involved with it like we could in Chapter 2 Season 5, where it was destabilized in the air above the island. Even though it may be out of sight and out of mind to a lot of players right now, that doesn't distinguish the fact that it's actually doing nothing, as the scientist said this in one of the most recent Vibing Quest voice recordings.
There it is again.
Another 0-point energy shockwave, magnitude 7.2. The 0 point has gotta be bringing these relics here because it wants us to have them, right? And, you didn't hear this from me, but since we're almost friends, now is the time to be worried.
The most interesting part about these voice recordings is that not only does it kind of determine that the 0 point and the reality tree, despite being kind of connected through the aura waves coming off the reality tree itself going to the 0 point, are opposing each other. The reality tree is being manipulated or watched at the very least by this character at the end of the Season 3 trailer that we've only had a glimpse of, and of course the 0 point, like the scientist said, is bringing now fragments into this reality, as the heart of every Fortnite reality is the 0 point, and that ultimately will be in preparation of protecting it from something. One of these things being the Sith holocron for Darth Vader, containing vital information about the fate of the Fortnite Island or what needs to happen next. And for those that don't know, the 0 point brought Darth Vader into this reality, or teased him to be upcoming in the Collision Live event itself, so this could be happening again for some 8 characters we're about to reveal. And with that nicely moving us on to our third point about what characters they are going to be from the Marvel Universe, don't forget once again in Chapter 2 Season 4, once we knew the 0 point was at threat from Galactus approaching and perhaps it's sensing this, Thor from the Marvel Universe followed him or used the Bifrost to actually bring himself and other Marvel characters into the Fortnite reality to then defend it against Galactus. And despite this being determined through the comic books at the end of Chapter 2 Season 3 that this would be happening, or Thor and Galactus would be arriving on the Fortnite Island itself, from taking a look at the Fortnite X Marvel comics out now, Zero War, that not everybody can see in-game, although I propose this would have been a good idea to follow the storyline as it does reveal a ton of secrets which we're also going to be revealing to do with Jenna. However, first of all, in terms of the characters that are portrayed throughout here that could be upcoming Battle Pass outfits for next season, none of them possess similar abilities to Thor, so perhaps the 0 point itself, instead of bringing fragments into the Fortnite reality, it perhaps directly brings these new Battle Pass outfit characters into the Fortnite reality in an attempt to save it from the reality tree completely consuming the island and every named location on it, or even having it controlled by it or changed. And as for what these 8 outfits are that I made a good point of identifying over on Twitter what they possibly could be, as stated, there are 8 new outfits in each Battle Pass. As you can see, we have 8 new characters from the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics that haven't released in Fortnite yet, which could mean these are all released in Chapter 3 Season 4 for an entire Marvel themed Battle Pass, as it makes it possible. And as you can see, for all the names of the characters on screen right here being Miles Morales, Shuri, Spider-Gwen, Hulk, Falcon, Captain Marvel, Captain Carter and Vision. At this time I forgot Captain Marvel was already in game, but don't forget there's been several different variants of her portrayed to be coming to the game, and we do know we get different variants of the same skin, for instance Wolverine and Wolverine Zero. Even if we weren't to get a different variant of Captain Marvel, there's another Marvel character and many more in the comics, but in one of the images I already attached a vision, as you can see right here, called Quicksilver. This definitely determines it's not entirely impossible that they could construct another entire Marvel themed Battle Pass, despite them introducing some of the most popular Marvel characters already in Chapter 2 Season 4. And of course with this, despite this perhaps being portrayed or happening in the Season 4 cinematic trailer, all of these characters pulled into Fortnite's reality from the power of the 0 point. Moving on to our next point, the reason for this, another big boss like Galactus coming to the Fortnite reality to try and devour the 0 point to harness its energy. This could be a bigger threat now than Jenna or this character at the end of the Season 3 trailer called MODOK that Donald Mustard mentioned in this podcast right here at the time of the Galactus event, or literally just after.
MODOK is amazing, and so it's really just thinking like, okay, so it's like if MODOK learned that there was a slice of reality, but I think MODOK would be very interested in what's going on there.
Despite this confirming MODOK coming to the Fortnite reality at some point, back then, of course, it makes the most sense now with the introduction of the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics, and the theories about next season, because Chapter 2 Season 4 being Chapter 3 Season 4 is another Marvel collaboration, again corroborating to the seasons of the prior chapter, in terms of even progressing forward more, but in the background at the same time, perhaps even to build up an ending of this chapter, Chapter 3 in itself. In the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics, they're not only confirming things about the Marvel Universe coming to Fortnite, but also Fortnite's storyline going forward, as details in the latest comic book issue actually confirmed that Jenna is the dad of the Imagined and the Order, hence him being the leader of the faction, the Imagined Order. And not only that, but upon them being born, they were already genetically modified to whatever way he desired. Even despite the island seemingly chilling for so long right now, it doesn't mean with not much happening in front of our eyes that things aren't brewing in the background ready to shape the future. No, I'm not saying the Imagined and the Order are definitely going to portray the 7, or this is going to be portrayed even in the Season 4 cinematic trailer, but it's a large possibility if Geno has influence over their genetics, perhaps he can control their will. However, speaking of what directly may be involved in the Season 4 trailer itself, for those that don't know, the mechs are set to be returning as they've been worked on or in a different way in the game's coding according to Hypex for Season 4 perhaps. If the theory comes true that next season is entirely Marvel integrated, with all the Battle Pass characters being from the Marvel Universe brought into Fortnite, with the Hulk also appearing in the Battle Pass from my personal list, perhaps what also arrives instead of the normal mechs we saw in Season X, this revamped or new version, is Hulkbusters, which perhaps the loopers within Fortnite or Fortnite's unique characters have to enter in order to stand a fighting chance against MODOK, as they have no super abilities. If you're excited for Season 4, don't forget to slap a like in today's video and make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future uploads. But speaking of other videos now, or your next destination, make sure to interact with anything on screen, I don't mind. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in that very next video I do post on the channel.